San Francisco, always a great stop on the road. Historic, scenic, and lately for the Cubs, it has meant success. From downtown San Francisco, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Cubs playing well. They've won 3 of their first 5 on this 10-game road trip. And great to have you with us. Late night action here in San Francisco along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. Yesterday, Jeff Samardzija finally got a win, got a lot of run support, and was very good on the mound.
Yeah, he got a lot of run support. He had some very nice defensive plays behind him. He was really, really good on the mound. He struck out 10, did not walk a batter in his 7 innings of work. Stuff-wise, as good as we've seen him, topping out at 97 miles an hour with fastball. The slider was flat out filthy from the very early inning on, and it just bang, 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 slider away, fastball up, the splitter when he needed it against the left-handed hitter. So count along, struck out the side in the 2nd inning. There's a split finger pitch. There's that slider I was talking about, changing lanes, and there's a 2-seamer back over the inside corner. We talked to him before the game here tonight. Felt very good about his stuff, about his approach, the sinker in. And again, long time coming, picked up the W, snapping a 16-game winless streak. And for good measure, drove in a run with an RBI double as well.
Only Adam Wainwright with a 167 has a better earned run average in baseball. And the Cubs have played particularly well in this ballpark. Remember, they swept the Giants last year in 3 games. JD, if they win tonight, the Cubs will win 5 in a row in San Francisco for the first time ever.
And they will have their first winning series on the road this year, 4-0 here in San Francisco after that sweep last year. And you see the pitching against the Giants by the Cubs has been really, really good.
So it's a battle of right-handers on the mound tonight. We start with the Cubs hurler. It's Jake Arrieta, 4 starts, good ERA, and got his first win as last time.
Yeah, his previous 2 starts, he really labored through a lot of pitches to get through 4 innings in each of those ball games. That wasn't the case on that start in San Diego. Really good from the first inning on. All 3 of his pitches he had command of. The fastball, curveball, changeup. The curveball in particular was really sharp. That's such an important pitch for him. We'll watch for that tonight. If he has the feel for that breaking ball early, he'll likely have a good night.
Tim Hudson is back in the Bay Area, started his career with the Oakland A's. He is the active win leader as we check out our lows. Never stop improving. We were talking about maybe Hall of Fame credentials.
Maybe he's 38 years of age. It remains to see how much he has left in the tank. If he can kind of push on through, pitch at a high level for another 3 or 4 years, maybe he gets there. Winning percentage, 2nd best among all active pitchers. It's all this guy has ever done is win. 17 pro seasons, never had a losing year.
And the Giants, despite losing yesterday to snap their 4-game winning streak, still with the best winning percentage in all of baseball. And they've got a great tradition of baseball here in San Francisco. They're working on a long sellout streak as well. The Cubs will try to keep the fans quiet here tonight. Game 2 of this series coming up next.
part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T U-verse. AT&T U-verse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIG-ATT. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
No complaints about the weather whatsoever. What a gorgeous day and into the evening here in the Bay Area. Light jacket weather as we get started. Jake Arrieta and Tim Hudson on the mound. The Giants still have the best record in all of baseball, and across the Bay, the Oakland A's best winning percentage in the American League, and they're hosting the Tigers tonight. We'll see the Brewers coming up this weekend in Milwaukee. Brewers haven't played great here lately, but the Cubs have really had their struggles up at Miller Park the last several years.
Yeah, Brewers have just won 3 of their last 10 ball games, and that comfortable lead they had in the division has dissipated. Just a game and a half better than St. Louis starting play tonight. But yeah, the baseball focus right now is out here in the Bay with what the Giants and the A's are doing. Pretty impressive stuff. They're starting to talk about 1989 all over again out here in the Bay Area.
And we want to send out a hearty congratulations to our good friend John Miller, today inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. Already a Ford Frick Award winner. Back in 2010, honored in Cooperstown. And he's been calling big league baseball for a long time. 14 World Series.
Yeah, he's such a good listen. He's so easy to listen to.
What a storyteller.
Yeah. His Japanese Vin Scully is one of the great impressions of all time.
Well, Tim Hudson, 209 career victories, is the active leader in that department, and he'll face this Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Bonifacio, Ruggiano back off the DL yesterday, gets the start in left. Rizzo, Castro, Valbuena at second. He's been red hot. Wellington Castillo's a catcher. Former Giant Nate Sherholtz finally hit his first homer of the season yesterday. Mike Olt will hit 8th and play third, and Jake Arrieta bats 9th.
Here's how they line up defensively for the Giants tonight. Brought to you by Kia. Former Cub Tyler Colvin in left. Pagan, former Cub as well in center. Hunter Pence, the right fielder. Pretty sloppy play, actually, by the Giants defensively yesterday. An infield of Sandoval, Crawford, Adrianza, and Morse. Buster Posey back behind the plate. He was the first baseman yesterday. Lexus starting pitcher for the Giants. The veteran right-hander Tim Hudson, 38 years of age, 9 starts, 4-2, 2.13 ERA. That is not a misprint. Check out the walk number. 63 in the third innings. He has walked but 6.
Set the umpires for you. Andy Fletcher gets home plate. Chris Siegel at first. Mike Muchlinski at second. Mark Wegner, the crew chief, is at third. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. Emilio Bonifacio's come through several times in leading off a ball game, and he looks at strike one, and we're underway. Hudson, a ground ball machine. Giants have won all 4 of his starts here.
He's got the highest ground ball rate in the National League. And no surprise to see him throw strike one either. He does that as much as anybody in the game. 65% of the time he throws strike one, and then he'll go to work sinker, slider, splitter, occasional curveball. Usually it's moving, and typically it's down around the knees.
Fewest pitches per inning, under 13.
Look out.
Among all big league pitchers. That one scattered Bonifacio's teammates over in the first base dugout. Not much foul territory here. Probably the fewest amount among all big league parks, which is interesting because the old place, Candlestick, had probably the most, save for the Coliseum.
Yeah, they had to kind of shoehorn this ballpark into this plot of land here up against the Cove.
Line shot to Pagan for out number 1. 59 degrees as we get started tonight, but comfortable.
Yeah, beautiful night to play. Great night to pitch. And not a bad night to be up here either.
Good to see Justin Ruggiano back. Missed a month with a strained left hamstring. 3 for 21 during his rehab assignment at Iowa. And he gets his 9th big league start of the year tonight. Comeback sinker on the outside corner.
Yeah, the one thing Hudson won't do is blow you away with his fastball. He'll sit around 88, 89 miles an hour.
Good slider that time, or cutter. We were talking with Jeff Samardzija before the game. He has shifted more toward the third base side. And getting a lot of ground balls off the bats of right-handed hitters. You see Hudson works from the first base side of the pitching rubber.
Yeah, it used to be years ago. Lefties always worked from the first base side of the rubber, and right-handed pitchers worked from the third base side of the rubber. And then people started to just experiment with it, play around, move around the rubber, and just, you know, how hitters react to your stuff.
Bounce it to the shortstop Crawford, and he throws to first in plenty of time. 2 outs in the inning, and it'll bring up Anthony Rizzo.
Jeff moved to the third base side of the rubber. He just likes the movement on his sinker. Gets a lot of weak contact from right-handed hitters with his 2-seamer down and in. Hudson gets ground balls on the sinker. He'll get ground balls on that curveball.
Two hits, an RBI, and 2 runs for Anthony. And the Cubs win yesterday as this one's bounded foul. Hudson got a 2-year free agent contract over the winter worth $23 million. Can't think of another general manager in the game today who likes veterans more than Brian Sabean and who has had a lot of success in bringing in veterans. Can't tell you the last time we would have considered the Giants a young ball club.
That's a good point.
Here's a pitch. A little bit outside.
Well, with the acquisition of Hudson and Michael Morris has been a big part of it offensively for the Giants. It was a good offseason for Brian Sabean. A bit of a gamble with Hudson being 38 years of age. He shut down last year when he blew out his ankle after 21 starts.
That was a splitter. It's 2-1.
.209 wins for Hudson. #1 among active pitchers. His .649 winning percentage is the 15th best in baseball since 1920. And, you know, people say, wait a minute, you guys, you're telling us every night that wins aren't that important, that it's an overrated statistic. Well, it is overrated, but it's still hard not to appreciate what this guy has done to win at that high of a level. Obviously, the other numbers are really good, too.
Yeah, his 162 game average record, 16-9. Pretty good. Rizzo went. Mark Wegner said so at third base, and Anthony is out, and so are the Cubs. 1-2-3 in the first. Jake Arrieta to the mound when we return. Giants Southwest starting lineup. Couple of ex-Cubs in that order, including the leadoff man Angel Pagan in center. Hunter Pence 0 for 4 since his scooter was stolen. Buster Posey's the catcher. Pablo Sandoval red hot. You see what he's done over his last half a dozen games. Michael Morris is at first tonight. Another former Cut. Tyler Coleman in left. Brandon Crawford at short. A-Ray Adrianza will be the second baseman with a good athlete on the mound, and batting ninth, Tim Hudson.
Key defense for the Cubs this evening. Ruggiano back out there in left. Bonifacio center. Nate Shearholtz right. Those two have been really good in the outfield this year. Old Castro, Valbuena, Rizzo third to first. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Darlex's pursuing perfection starting pitcher. Jake Arrieta, 28-year-old right-hander. He's made 4 starts. He's 1-0 with a .233 fastball that he likes to sink. And he can also power it by you up in the zone. Curve, cutter, change. Got a lot of weapons, and as we mentioned in the open last time out in San Diego, he had all of them working from the get-go.
Switch hitting Angel Pagan, hitting .315 on the year. And Arrieta's first offering is a called strike.
Not a lot of history for Jake and the Giants. He pitched once against them. It was in this ballpark back in June of 2010. He pitched good. 7 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball.
That's the curveball that served him so well in his last outing against the Padres. A lot of bite.
Yeah, there's a sinker at 96. Yeah. Castillo couldn't even catch it.
It'll be a bit of a hot gun here at AT&T Park. Castillo setting up toward the outside. And there's a roller in the center. Looked like Arrieta basically hit his spot. Nice piece of hitting by Pagan. He's aboard with nobody out.
Two-seamer out her third and down a little bit. Just right back through the 5-hole for Pagan, and it's a leadoff knock. Pagan, Pence, Posey, and the Panda. Top of the batting order for the Giants tonight.
Please. Pence has a new scooter on the way. It's been ordered. He's making his 224th consecutive start, the longest such active streak in baseball. Love the warm-up swings.
Yeah, he's just absolutely funky. Hits the ball on the ground a lot, so he is a double play candidate. He's tough to double up because he runs well, but he does hit the ball on the ground quite frequently.
That's low.
Strike. That was a pretty good pitch. Yeah, I came across this today. I was down walking around by the Ferry building where they have a big farmer's market in one of the stands, offering up some free ramen if you return Pence's scooter.
He's offering a signed bobblehead of himself riding the scooter.
Oh, 0-2, but it's really 2-0. I don't know. I thought both of those were pretty good. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's take a look at Menard's pitch tracks. Yeah. Not a terrible call, but it looked like it caught the bottom of the knees. Maybe it's because Pence got his pants rolled up so high.
That's a strike, even though Castillo couldn't handle it. 2-1.
Pence over the last couple of weeks has been one of the hottest hitters in the league. Pagan with 10 steals this year. He's been caught twice.
It's 2-2 now to Pence.
That's one of those guys you get nervous watching him. He's so twitchy.
Yeah, he's a walking decaf ad, isn't he? 3-2. By the way, the local restaurant where his scooter apparently was taken, or where it was last seen, would be the better way to put it, is offering 2 free dinners. So the rewards keep increasing.
Wow.
There goes Pagan, and a ground ball is going to get into right as Valbuena had vacated to go cover the bag. And the Giants have something cooking here in the first inning. First and third with nobody out.
And it made perfect sense to have Valbuena covering the bag because Pence does hit the ball on the ground on the shortstop side way more than he does on the right side. But here he's able to push it through that vacated spot with Valbuena breaking the cover. Perfectly executed by the Giants. They set up shop here, first and third, nobody out. Frustrating for Arrieta because I'm pretty sure he feels like he threw strikes on the first 2 pitches of that at bat.
Yeah, I got squeezed there for sure. And now faces a tough one in Buster Posey, who took an aggressive swing, fouled it back. Just 3 for his last 28. Sounds like he will not start tomorrow. He was at first yesterday, behind the plate tonight.
Yeah, he doesn't catch Lincecum. Not very often, anyway.
Now you're in limit the damage mode here. Pence takes off, and Castillo will just fake a throw towards second.
The number's not good for Wellington Castillo this year, but a lot of it is he just hasn't had a whole lot of help from his pitchers. That time Arrieta not using the quick step, and Pence able to exploit it. Wellington has thrown out just 12% so far this year. It's 29 steals, 4 caught now with Welly behind the dish.
Over the right center, it's going to be caught by Scherholz. And his throw is going to go toward third, and Pence is safe. Pagan is in on a sac fly line out, and it's 1-0. Looked like that little liner handcuffed Scherholz a little bit as he made the grab, but a strong throw to third almost got Pence.
Maybe got in the lights a little bit. He was fighting it.
'24th RBI for Posey. Now the infield will move in against their hottest hitter, Pablo Sandoval. Over his last 6 games, 9 hits, 4 homers, 11 RBIs. He knocked in 3 yesterday.
And trying to go down and in with a slider. And just a great swing of the bat. One of those guys, when he gets on a roll, and he's on a roll right now. A lot of solid contact.
The kick and the 0-1. The curveball missed the outside corner. Kind of hard to believe, but Sandoval's average on May 10th was 173. Almost up to 240 now with this hot stretch. Ground ball picked up by Castro. That'll keep Pence at third. 2 outs.
That's a win for Arrieta right there. Ball sharply hit, but right at Castro. Just a little half a slide to his right. No chance for Pence to score.
Now Morris, he's playing first. Parts of 10 seasons in the big leagues, and he's been an underrated hitter for a while.
Long and strong. You got to pitch him in, try to tie him up so he can't get extended. This is where the Giants have been at their best. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, hitting over .280. They scored over 45% of their runs with 2 outs.
Great look from behind home plate. That deflects off Arrieta's glove, and a base hit to score another run. Morris knocks in Pence, and it's 2-0.
Not too much of the plate there. You saw Castillo set up inside, trying to throw that 2-seamer in on his hands, and just didn't get it there.
Third single of the inning. Now Tyler Colvin, 13th overall pick by the Cubs in the 2006 draft. 221 games rather to start his career with the Cubs, and he takes a strike. He's on their roster because of Brandon Belt's injury. Colvin's been up for about 2.5 weeks, making his 11th start. One ball, one strike. Short lead by Morse. That gets away. Morse will take off for second, and he'll make it on a wild pitch. It is 1-2, however, on Colvin.
It's one of the points of emphasis, I'm sure, when the Giants were talking about Jake Arrieta, that sharp curveball down in the dirt, which they'll be looking to take advantage of.
Bounced right to Rizzo, and it takes him to the bag to end the inning. Giants get 2 on 3 hits. They leave 1, and it's 2-0 after an inning. Next homestand, the Mets and Marlins will match up against the Cubs as we celebrate the 1940s. The planned festivities include music, food, and giveaways that mirror the 40s. And for more info about the year-long celebration, go to WrigleyField100.com. Tickets are available for every game on that homestand, so visit Cubs.com to purchase your seats today. Cubs trail 2-0 as we start the second, and a strike called on Starlin Castro. He picked up an extra hit from yesterday on what originally was an error on Brandon Crawford in the 7th inning.
Yeah, backhanded play Crawford tried to make. Couldn't glove it cleanly, then kicked it. Probably should have remained an error, but wasn't an easy play.
So I think his average is 278 instead of the listed 273, but that'll all get squared up after the ball game. Junior Lake was also given a stolen base.
These guys are good. Put up numbers overnight.
The 2-1 from Hudson, swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
Well, Hudson does everything well. He's a good hitter. Really fields his position well.
We'll get back out of play. So Tim Hudson, he was a two-way star in college. He pitched, played the outfield. Oakland wanted him as a pitcher. As a senior at Auburn, he went 15-2. He batted .396 with 18 home runs, but he got taken in the 6th round because of his slight stature. 6'1", 164. Did not have a big fastball. But whatever doubters existed back in the mid-1990s, didn't take too long for them to be convinced. Grew up a Braves fan. He's from Alabama. And his 2-2 is hit on the ground to Sandoval at third. Easy play for him. Hudson, Mulder, Zito. Those are the three guys you think about, and you go back over a decade. Those excellent Oakland A's teams.
At his first full year in the big leagues, he was a 20-game winner.
Max Scherzer on the mound tonight, and the Tigers need him to be good. And they're leading early 2-0. Ready for this? The Tiger pitching staff has allowed 56 runs over their last 6 games. You don't have to be good at math to know that that's over 9 runs a game. Caught by Colvin to get Valbuena.
Yeah, you don't have to be good, but I'm glad you did the division for me. I'm starting to grind away on it. Yeah, so this guy here, Hudson, 11-2 his rookie year in '99. He was called up in June, made 21 starts that year. It was 11-2 with a .323, and he was on his way. 20-6 the next year, 18-9. And year after year, you could count on him. 15, 16 wins, and for the most part, low ERAs. See, and that's where I think he's the kind of guy where he's usually around the plate. The strategy might change here as we go along, where the Cubs are going to have to maybe get a little aggressive, try to jump on that first pitch fastball. I don't think he's the type of pitcher you think about working the count against, because he has such good command. He's not going to give in, but that first pitch, he likes to get the jump on you. And that first pitch fastball, sometimes he's willing to just pump it in there over the heart of the plate.
Crawford and Hudson. They broke a sweat in the second. 1-2-3 go the Cubs for the second straight inning to begin the ballgame.
100th season, the Cubs and MasterCard have partnered to offer a limited number of MasterCard Century seats for every game during the 2014 regular season. Fans can use their MasterCard to purchase Upper Deck box tickets for $19.14. For more information or to make your purchase, visit Cubs.com/Century Seats. Hey, there's a young'un.
Giants with 2 first-inning runs. By the way, just as I mentioned, the Tiger pitching staff, Scherzer gave up a run.
I think Verlander gave up 9 and 6 earned in his start a couple days ago. Oakland, I think, hit 5 home runs in the ball game yesterday.
The A's scoring over 5 runs per game to lead the majors and giving up just over 3 per game. See if Arrieta can settle in. 1 strike on the shortstop Crawford. Here's the pitch.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to make an adjustment. If Andy Fletcher's not going to call that ball down around the knees, you have 2 choices. You either elevate it and throw the fastball over more of home plate, or you try to get ahead with that curveball. That would be a pretty good way to go if he could just find the release point just to kind of drop that curveball in there for strike 1 to get ahead. That would work. That was a good change up there.
Can you get an umpire to work with you after the first couple of innings?
Well, I don't know that you can get an umpire to work with you, but you don't give up on it because he might have just missed a couple. It's not necessarily, his zone. He may have just missed those pitches, so you can't assume he's not going to call that pitch down there.
Adrianza's on deck. And then the pitcher, Hudson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Jake had it pretty well set in his mind. He wanted to throw that cut fastball. Castillo called for everything. Curveball, sinker, changeup, finally coming around to the cutter, and they were trying to get it in on Pagan. Didn't hit his spot, but fooled him nonetheless. Did I say Pagan? Crawford.
You did.
Yeah. It's the hair.
A-Ray Adrianza, and he hits one pretty well, but it'll be caught by Ruggiano. Switch hitting second baseman. Quickly makes out number 2. And we'll bring up Hudson. 168 in his career with 3 home runs. One little interesting quote I saw regarding Tim Hudson kind of clues you into how good he's been in the big leagues. Comes from his wife Kim, who said, quote, "Tim really doesn't think past the end of his nose. He lives in the moment." And that's generally a good way to be in this game.
Yeah, just focus on the task at hand. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't fret about tomorrow.
Curveball for strike 3. 2 punch outs in the inning. We've completed 2. It's 2-0 San Francisco. Sportsnet for Blackhawks post-game live. Get the breakdown on Game 5 of the Western Conference Final tomorrow after the Blackhawks game. It is must-win territory now. The Hawks need to win the final 3 games. Their best of 7.
Nothing to it. A 3-game winning streak. How many of those did they have during the regular year?
Oh, a fair amount. They did it last year against Detroit. Former Giant Nate Scherholtz starts the Cubs' 3rd. Chicago still looking for a base runner against Tim Hudson. First homer for Scherholtz yesterday since September 19th of last year in Milwaukee. He got all of it.
Yeah, you could see it coming. The bats last week or so much better. Had some really good swings in San Diego. Just missed hitting a home run there. And there goes number 1 off Yusmeiro Petit.
Two and nothing the count. 7, 8, and 9 for the Cubs. Talking with Nate before the game, and he's still sour about the ball he crushed in San Diego that went for a double and didn't get out. He thought he hit that one better than the one he hit yesterday.
Smoke a ball like that and it stays in the ballpark. That kind of lingers with a hitter.
Pagan with a little leap in the catch.
And out, but a good swing of the bat by Scherholtz. Much like Bonifacio's at bat, that's a challenge, especially for the left-handed hitters with that sinker of Hudson. Try to keep the hands inside the ball and use the big part of the field. Try to pull it. That's a weak ground ball to the second base. Here you hit it hard. Something good might happen.
Mike Alt at 169, but he's got 9 home runs. Hitless in his last 14 at bats. Strike 1 call. Too much traffic this year against Hudson. See Jason Hamill with a whip of under 1.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the numbers, well, how are you going to beat this guy? Doesn't walk anybody. 6 free passes all year. League hits .216 against him, so he's tough to hit. He's allowed 4 home runs.
Hottest team in baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. They won their 8th in a row tonight, 9-6 over the Rays. Mark Burley, the first pitcher to 9 wins. Edwin Encarnacion hit another home run. 14 in May for Encarnacion.
And 16 on the year for him now. I remember not too many years ago, a lot of frustration in Cincinnati over Encarnacion. People were grumbling about him.
The 3-2 to Alt is fouled back. And I remember a guy named Jose Bautista who looked like he might just be a journeyman super utility guy.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh would like do-overs on those two.
Another payoff delivery. Called strike 3. Well, you were a pitcher, not a hitter, but what's the mentality here for Old? I mean, that looked like a very hittable pitch. Obviously, he wasn't thinking he was going to get it.
Yeah, that's the problem. You start trying to guess along with a veteran like Hudson, and you can run into trouble. You know, I guess the best advice a hitting coach would give is, hey, just see the ball and react. Don't try to think along with him, because this is just a little baby cut fastball right out over the heart of the plate.
Sometimes you just get locked up, and obviously Alt was on that pitch.
Well, what Hudson does is he throws a lot of strikes early, and he presses his case. He works quickly, gets you on your heels a little bit as a hitter. So you're standing in the box trying to sort out, gee, is he going to throw me a slider here, maybe that curveball? And while you're thinking, he's slipping that fastball by you.
1-1 bounce towards center and a base hit for Arrieta. So the first Cub knock comes from the 9-hitter.
Jake's not thinking, he's just swinging.
Bonifacio line to center to lead off the ball game. Cubs have won 6 of their last 9. Right to Crawford, down to a knee. Feeds Adrianza at the bag, and the inning is over. Midway in the third, 2-0 Giants. For a chance to have it appear later in tonight's broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. How about that jacket with a photo of Will Clark in action on the back? Will Clark is actually in the booth next door on Giants television right now.
The thrill.
He could hit.
Oh, man, could he hit. Will the thrill, his voicemail on his phone message was the thrill is gone. And you called and he wasn't home.
Hey, did I just see Ben Revere has hit a home run? The first of his career. Jason Stark just tweeted he had his Dwayne Kuiper moment. We just showed Kuip over there with his partner Mike Krukow.
Kuip with 1 career home run off our good buddy Steve Stone.
Krukow, a former Cub. Here's Angel Pagan, 2-0 Giants.
Will Clark working as a special assistant to the general manager now for the Giants. Spend some time working with their minor leaguers. Drops in here every now and then.
Called strike. Pagan with a base hit to start the bottom of the first, and later would come around to score.
So there's that adjustment we were talking about. If you can't get the low fastball called, so that good hook up there for strike one. Hitters don't want any part of that on 0-0. If you had a jacket as a kid and it was going to have a player splashed across the back of it like that jacket, who would have been on it?
For me, probably Alan Trammell. The 1-1 in the air. Bonifacio will make the catch. I'm going to guess Tom Seaver for you.
Well, he would have been my brother for sure. So I would have had to be a contrarian and go with somebody else. That's a good call. I don't know. I had a lot of divided loyalties as a kid. I kind of like the Cardinals because our neighbors were Tiger people and they played in the '68 World Series. I mean, all my, I was just a contrarian. My brother adopted the Mets. We all hated the Yankees at my house.
I was going to say Marv Throneberry maybe for you.
Yeah, maybe he had Crane Pool.
There you go. 1-1 to Pence.
Maybe the great Coco LaBoy.
Makes a play off to his left and throws to first in time.
Sharply hit, not enough time to get in front of it. You just got to trust your hands there, and Olt able to pick it. Trust those good hands, plenty of time. You're going to work on your sinker a little bit anyway.
Now Posey with 2 outs, nobody on. Congrats to Javier Baez, the Pacific Coast League Player of the Week. Hit 400 last week and went into action tonight at Memphis with an 11-game hitting streak. Chris Bryant continues to lead the Southern League in home runs. He's got 14. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. We'll get some good Twitter feedback. S.E. Nesbitt says, lifetime Cubs fan, but would have had Brooks Robinson on the jacket. Good call. Another one for Jody Davis as Arrieta with a scoreless third inning as he settles in. Will the thrill? It's 2-0 Giants. Cubs Authentics Wrigley Field 100 collection. From game-used throwback jerseys and Wrigley Field 100 baseballs to autographed items from your favorite alumni and Hall of Famers, Cubs Authentics has the most exclusive memorabilia to commemorate 100 years of Wrigley Field. Go to Cubs.com/Authentics for updates on the newest game-used and autographed items. Hudson to Ruggiano. 2 balls, no strikes.
Hudson, for the most part, has been working in front of the Cub hitters. Let's see what he does here on 2-0.
And he lines one into center for the Cubs' second hit. And the leadoff man on for the first time.
Laid one in there on 2-0, and Ruggiano jumped on it.
Hudson set at the belt. And on his way to the plate, and ball one just missed. Hudson wondering where it was.
It was a pitcher's pitch. This time he didn't get the call. Andy Fletcher has not been very generous down around the knees. I was thinking double play here, throwing that sinker, trying to get Rizzo to roll over on one. Because they play him as a pull hitter, Adrianza, the second baseman, is not playing traditional double play depth. Gives Rizzo a little more room on the right side than he's used to operating with. Most clubs shift their shortstop onto the second base side. That hasn't been the case with the Giants here yesterday or today.
Roster move for the Cubs today. Wesley Wright has been placed on the paternity list. And right-hander Blake Parker has been recalled from AAA Iowa. Rolling inside, 3-1.
We saw a willingness on Hudson's part to be aggressive with Ruggiano on 2-all. I suspect he'll be a little more careful here. Off-speed pitch. Just a good sinker, I guess. 88 looked like a little bit of a changeup.
I believe the paternity list, you can be gone up to 3 days. In case you're wondering.
Now 3-2. They do shift all the way over now for Anthony.
Here goes Ruggiano, and the ball is lifted in the air. Ruggiano able to spot it, and he'll end up back at first as Pagan makes the catch. So Rizzo 0 for 2. It'll bring up Castro. Prince Fielder had surgery on his neck today in Dallas. and expected to be out the rest of the year. Had a cervical fusion of the C5, C6 discs in his neck. Speaking of neck issues, Yu Darvish was scratched with stiffness in his neck. So former Cubs Scott Baker getting the nod for the Rangers, who lost at Minnesota 4-3. Baker got a no decision. He was good. 6 innings, 2 runs. Twins won it with 2 in the 9th. The 0-1 tap foul near the Giants dugout. They've been holding their breath in Kansas City. Ordano Ventura with an elbow issue, but the word is, JD, he's only going to miss maybe one start. And an MRI, no ligament damage.
One of those deals that any time a pitcher goes off for tests, everybody holds their breath. The guy throws over 100 miles an hour.
You ready for this? He has mild valgus extension overload. You ever heard of that?
No, sir.
Base hit to right, and the Cubs have 2 aboard. They're making some of this stuff up, right? I mean, we keep hearing new terms and diagnoses that I've never heard of.
What was it? Valgus
extension overload, a condition where the repetitive stress on the elbow can cause joint pain.
Yeah, it's called pitching,
according to the AP story.
Yeah. Called you pitch and things hurt. It's the nature of it. Good news for him that it's not a tear in that ligament. Seems to be very catchy this year.
Chance here for the Cubs with 2 on and 1 out for Luis Valbuena. If he can keep it up, this will be a career year for him. All the rate stats, the best of his big league career. Hudson's 1-0 is outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
And it hasn't gone unnoticed. I've talked to a lot of scouts the last couple of years, and he's always one of the guys they ask me about.
Pops it up. Shallow left. Infield fly rule in effect as Crawford hauls it in. And most baseball fans know what the infield fly rule is. If you don't, on a ball like that, with runners at first and second or the bases loaded and less than 2 outs, if the umpires deem that essentially an infield fly, even though he was in the outfield grass, if an infielder is camped underneath it, you'll see the right arm go up. That means the batter is automatically out and the runners can advance at their own risk.
Yeah, and the rule was put in to protect base runners, so infielders couldn't intentionally drop the ball and then force a lead runner, possibly even get a double play.
Or a triple play for that matter, with nobody out. And I've asked a lot of infield coaches, are there special circumstances in which a savvy infielder would just let the ball drop? Like in that case, Crawford just let it drop and see if a runner would panic. And my contention is a lot of runners would.
Didn't Tweed get thrown out on one like that the other day?
Did he? I didn't see it.
So, yeah, you usually see it about once a year where a guy just kind of brain cramps when that ball drops. They don't know what to do.
Probably worth doing in a big spot late. Maybe a desperate situation in a tie game as Castillo strikes out. And Hudson works around the 2 hits. Keeps the Cubs off the board. Gorgeous sunset here in Northern California. 2-0 San Francisco. Tomorrow, the Indians and White Sox will wrap up their 3-game set on the south side. We'll have it for you at 7 o'clock Central on Comcast Sportsnet. Left-hander TJ House, right-hander Hector Noesi, the scheduled starting pitchers. Well, they've got some rain on the south side. We're being delayed in the top of the 4th with the White Sox leading 1-0. 2 early runs for the Giants as they bat in the 4th. Sandoval, Morse, and Colvin.
Marietta has retired 7 in a row. Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was going to say Wayne Wright just tweeted us what happened to the flower that you were going to draw on your head.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Okay, we've got one more day while we're here in San Francisco. Also had some tweets after our open regarding your glasses.
What was that?
They like your glasses. They want to know what
I've been wearing them all year.
Yeah, I thought so.
You know, these. They're these kind. Kind of Harry Potter-ish.
The kind that help you see better.
Yeah. I don't see a brand name or anything on them. They were made in Holland, if that helps. I think Art Vandelay designed these. Well, dangerous count to a red hot hitter. Got to make a pitch here. Got it down, made him work for it.
Now I'm told to ask you if you have multiple pairs of glasses, and sometimes they appear more round than other days.
These are the roundy ones. I do have another pair that are less round.
Okay. Inquiring minds want to know. I think it's trending on Twitter. JD's glasses. Slicing drive out to left, caught by Ruggiano.
All right, fell behind Sandoval, but able to come back and get him. Giants put that 2 spot on the board in the first inning against Arrieta. Pagan with a good single up the middle, and then some little bit of a misfortune, a little run and hit, base hit for Pence, kind of weakly hit through the right side. And zone was a little tight in that first inning for Arrieta, so he's been sharp again here tonight. Love that little rehearsal swing that Morse has. Slow, exaggerated top hand. Loosely he grips the bat with that top hand.
Past a diving Rizzo and into the corner out in right. And Morse slides in with a double. He's 2 for 2.
Had a triple and a walk yesterday. The day before he had a 3-double game. Did 10 home runs this year, so a lot of extra base thump coming from the new giant, Michael Morse.
Notice his left arm is very shiny. Did he get a new tattoo or something? Or is that just sweat? Got the right arm covered. Got some tats working.
A new tat, you know?
I don't know. Colvin takes a strike.
About half of Morse hits have been for extra bases, and a .542 slugging average coming into play tonight.
Four big ones in the 7th, and the Red Sox beat the Braves 6-3. So they've won 2 in a row after dropping 10 straight. John Lester got the win. He's 5-6. Two strikes to Colvin. We're going to go up with some heat. Did he hold up? I guess he did.
Good try with 2 strikes. Expand the zone up. See if you can get a hitter to chase. Colvin able to hold back.
Colvin went to Clemson. And he holds up on that one in the dirt. 2-2. Great shot of AT&T Park with downtown skyline in the background. Swung on and missed. We're out number 2. Strikeout number 3 for Arrieta.
Fastball that they try to start in and run back to the plate. Actually gets a good chunk of home plate, but he throws it right by Colvin at 95 miles an hour.
A.J. Ellis, Dodger catcher, is on the DL with a sprained right ankle, suffered while celebrating Josh Beckett's no-hitter the other day in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he already
landed on a catcher's mask.
Yeah, Drew Butera, who caught the no-hitter, had discarded it during the big celebration scrum, and Ellis jumped on it and rolled his ankle. Been on the DL a bunch already this year.
Phillies' top pitching prospect, Jesse Biddle, was skipped earlier this week because he was suffering from headaches believed to have resulted from getting hit in the head during a hailstorm. So our bizarre injury report of the week. The 1-0 line to center. Bonifacio will make the catch, and the inning is over. One out double by Morris, but he's stranded at second. And we go to the fifth. It's 2-0 San Francisco.
Cubs with Wrigley Field tours. Guided tours include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses 100 years of history. Wrigley Field tours are offered on both game days and non-game days, so visit Cubs.com/tours to book yours today.
Tim Hudson carrying a 2-0 lead into the fifth. He has allowed 3 hits. They've all been singles. Arrieta, Ruggiano, and Castro. And ball one on Scherholz. Here it comes, and that is just foul. Less than a foot foul.
And Nate hit the ball hard last time, lined out to center field. A bit for extra bases here, just spends a little bit beyond that right field line. That would have been 2 bases for sure. Posey thinking it over whether he wants to go right back in there, and they are. Lance Lynn with his first career shutout tonight. Cardinals blanking the Yankees. First one was a cutter that he pulled foul. This is a 2-seamer trying to work its way back to the corner.
Call them the Blankies tonight. Well positioned, Brandon Crawford, as Scherholz grounded right to the Giants shortstop. The Mets beat the Pirates 4-2. 2 doubles for Daniel Murphy. Ruben Tejada on base 4 times. So a day after they fired their hitting coach, Dave Hudgens, they come up with some timely hits. Those two developments probably unrelated, but that's the way it goes. Lamar Johnson replacing Hudgens. He had been the Mets minor league hitting coordinator.
Yeah, they fired Hudgens and they also released Jose Valverde, who they brought in to attempt to close the ball game. It's kind of a weird deal, right? You trust a guy to close the game and then release him after the ball game. I mean, he didn't pitch well and he blew the save.
The 2-1.
The only reason I say that is because normally those decisions are made before the game. And, you know, so if you're going to release the guy, would you trust him with protecting a lead in the ninth inning?
That's a fair question. That ball powered out into deep left center. Off the wall. Holt just missing his 10th. And he'll stand at second with a double. Sounded like a home run off the bat, but this is a big yard.
Yeah. He got through it pretty good.
Let me ask about those glasses.
In the daytime, it probably does leave the ballpark.
Have you seen Mike wear these?
No, this is the first
shades?
time. No. Yeah. Jeff Kent used to wear them, those shooting goggles. I don't think he had them on his first at bat, did he?
I don't remember that he did, but that doesn't mean that he didn't. Yeah.
I was too obsessed with my own glasses.
Yeah, we were probably dealing with that at the time. Arrieta hit it hard, but a nice play by Sandoval to get him.
A tough break for Jake. How about his swings tonight? Base hit last time, rocket this time. And the Panda able to make a play on him. That's a good looking swing.
Down in the production truck, they went back and looked, and Mike was not wearing the glasses in his first plate appearance, which resulted in that called strike 3 on a pitch right down the middle. My guess is he'll wear them the rest of the night at the plate. 1 strike on Bonifacio. Miami and the Nationals washed out in D.C. The 0-1. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. Long look by the right-hander Hudson. And his 70th pitch of the night is low and in.
Bonifacio came into this game with very good numbers against Hudson. 8 out of 21. A .381 batting average.
Three and 1 with Ruggiano on deck. 3-2.
Good in these situations. I think he tried to get out in front of that one from Hudson, tried to pull one and just over the top of the sinker.
Ground ball to Adrianza, and this will end the threat. Alt with a long double, but he's marooned at second, and it's still 2-zip Giants. Your vote decides tonight's player of the game. Vote now. Log on to Cubs in-game live on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Giants batting here in the fifth, leading 2-0.
Yeah, he did.
Adrianza went 0-2.
Yo, Adrianza. Twisted up in knots there. Didn't know what to do. Swing, don't swing, swing.
A-Ray, E-H-I-R-E. Another 0-2. Buries this one. 1-2. Edwin Jackson, Tim Lincecum tomorrow afternoon here on CSN.
Edwin scuffled the other night in San Diego, but he'd been really good leading into that start. The Cubs starting pitching overall has been outstanding of late. As a matter of fact, did you know that the Cubs starting pitchers have the best FIP in the league?
I did not know that.
3.26 fielding independent pitching. predictive tool based on home runs, walks, and strikeouts.
Yeah, taking batting average on balls and play out of it a bit. Diving stop. Castro throw to first is a little offline. And a base hit.
Would have been a spectacular play. Don't know if the throw would have beat him had it been on the money anyway. Probably not. Leadoff knock. Hudson up there, likely to bunt. Starman made a heck of a play in the hole last night. And the only wild card here is that Hudson's such a good hitter. Careful now. If he's bunting, Adrianza's not stealing. So when that sign from the bench comes to throw over, that's just to see if they can get Hudson to tip his hand, slide his hand up the bat, so they'll know whether he's bunting or not.
Adrianza good speed at first. Ball one to Hudson.
Priority number one for a pitcher when somebody's up there bunting, throw a strike. Well, a couple ways the Giants can play now that it's 2-0. They could give Hudson a swing. They could turn him loose. Figure he's going to get a cookie here on 2-0 and see if he can drive one somewhere. Keep the bunt on, or they could put a straight take on. They're taking all the way now. And that's the problem. When you start to try to pitch away from the walk, make it hard for the guy to get the bunt down, you start misfiring, and you set them up for a potential big inning if you don't come back and get Hudson here. He's just got to start pumping fastballs right over the heart of the plate. Bad idea to tighten him up a little bit there, because this is a count where a manager might be inclined to play a little hit and run.
There goes a runner, and it was.
Yeah, because you're counting on getting a fastball, so you're going to let a guy who can swing it a little bit like Hudson. You're going to go ahead and let it fly. But the worst case scenario for the Giants there is a ground ball double play, so you start the base runner to make sure that doesn't happen. So he had his chance to hit. Now 3-2, and he may put the bunt back on.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second, safe. And Brandon Hyde will go to the bat phone. And Ricky Renteria will come out.
Boy, nice job, though, by Arrieta coming back on Hudson. And it looked to me like Machlinsky started to call him out. See if this right hand starts to come up. Then again, see how he kind of raises up? I thought he was going to punch him out.
As it stands, it's the first career stolen base for Adrianza.
I can't tell with that look whether the hand got in before the tag was applied. I'll get a good look at it here. Safe. Tag never got on him till right there.
And no challenge from Ricky.
Who leads the league in challenges, by the way?
That's a statement. You're saying Ricky.
Ricky Renteria has 19 challenges. The most. This is baseball. We count things. It's absolutely meaningless, but we count things. So after all that, the same result as if Hudson had just dropped down a bunt on the first pitch and had a successful sacrifice.
A topper that'll be charged by Valbuena, and Pagan beats it. And I think Ricky might come out again. Well, Pagan smelled base hit as this chopper got elevated, and
big high hop, and maybe just a little bit of difficulty for Luis getting that ball out of his glove. Yeah, looks like he beat it. So 2 infield hits in the inning, and the Giants looking to add on. Wow. Spazio now out.
Pence due up. Runners at first and third with 1 out.
This might be the old, hey man, if you're making good pitches, just some misfortune here. A couple infield hits. Stay with your game plan. Pence hits the ball on the ground a lot. Get us a double play. We'll get out of here. Tough combination to double with Pagan on first and Pence in the box.
Our AT&T Uverse multi-view. Some trouble here for Arrieta. Pence 1 for 2 with a stolen base and a run.
We talk so much about clutch hitting and situational hitting. Well, the same thing really applies to pitching. And you talk about the best hitters under pressure are the guys who can maintain that high level. They don't panic. They don't let the moment get to them. Same thing for a pitcher. The guys who can continue to make pitches as opposed to overthrow and just try to blow the ball by people are the guys who tend to have the most success in these situations.
Strike called. Hey, we should note, JD, remember the old fake to third, throw to first that they banned? Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, I was thinking of that the other day. And I keep thinking one of these days a pitcher's going to have a brain cramp and forget that that's been banned.
One strike on Hunter Pence. Here's a pitch. 1-1.
Change his arm angle a little bit. Pence typically sees a lot of breaking balls, but fastball so far in this at bat.
Pence early on in a 5-year, $90 million deal that will take him through 2018. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
We've seen a couple fastballs, and he talked himself into thinking he was going to get another one.
Knocked down by Castillo. Like he wanted to fire down to first if he had fielded it cleanly. There goes Pagan. The pitch is inside, and he'll get second without a throw. Gets his 11th steal of the year. Infield in, and a 3-2 coming up. Down 2. They don't want to get down 3 or 4.
And now you've got a base open, so you can see if you get Pence to chase here.
The pitch.
Ooh, man.
Boy, he got a good rip and a fastball.
Surprised. Looked like Castillo was trying to coax Arrieta in a little bit more with his fastball. That was dangerous out over the plate a little bit.
That is quite a leg kick from Hunter Pence. Quick bat. They're loaded.
Yeah, I think they had the right idea. I think the breaking ball was a good way to go there. He just didn't execute the pitch.
First walk of the night for either team. Big spot in this one for Jake Arrieta, trailing 2-0. Bases loaded. And the pitch to Posey is high and in. A lot of line drives by Posey. He's a fly ball hitter. Arrieta wants him to hit one on the ground. The 1-0 on the way. Fly to left. This should get a run in. Adrianza will score. Posey with his second sac fly of the night. And it's 3-0. Two down at Sandoval with 2 men still on. Pitch to the switch hitting third baseman. Hit foul.
A lot of fastballs up in this inning. Perhaps by design. I've said all the time about Sandoval. He's a good bad ball hitter. He's a really good ball hitter. He covers the strike zone. He's very quick. be time for a 58-foot curveball.
He ordered it up, but that ball is going to drop. Wow. How about Sandoval? He knocks in Pagan on a pitch that looked to be a pretty good one in terms of where Arrieta wanted to put it.
Yeah, against most, that pitch is going to work, and it did induce weak contact. But that's why I said 58, because if it's close to the plate, he's probably going to put the bat on it. With Sandoval, you got to go lower than lower, higher than high. And again, not a bad pitch, but he's wielding that magic wand right now. And just carves this little flare out there in the shallow left center field.
Give him 12 RBIs over his last 7 games. Knocked in 4 in the series. And it's 4-zip. We'll see Carlos Villanueva start to play catch out in the Cubs bullpen as Morse digs in.
Not exactly turning the cover off the ball.
.22 pitch first and nearing 30 here in the 5th. Two and one. Topped foul.
Situation here where Castillo might be thinking about trying to jam him with a fastball, but when he's called for that pitch earlier in the inning, Jake hasn't been able to get it in there. So even though in your mind as a catcher it might be the best pitch to throw, if you don't have confidence that your guy's going to make the pitch, you might go to plan B.
Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. A couple of 2-run frames, and the Giants have a 4-0 lead. Tim Hudson, pretty good at getting ground balls for outs. That has continued tonight.
Yeah, he gets such good movement on his fastball. Even when he's up in the zone with it a little bit, he tends to get the hitters to hit it on the ground.
Now he's got a 4-run lead.
Yeah, for a guy with his track record in terms of winning percentage, he has not given up many 4-run leads in his life. I guarantee you that.
One and one on Ruggiano, first big league action in over a month. Activated off the DL yesterday. A swing and a foul tip to make it 1-2. Jorge De La Rosa beat Cole Hamels tonight in Philadelphia, 6-2 Rockies. The final, Wilin Rosario with a big go-ahead 3-run homer.
Speaking of the Phillies.
Yes.
See the story on Rhino?
Which one?
The one where he used to eat cat food as a kid?
No.
Yeah, he did an interview with a radio station in Philly. So when he was a little guy, about 5 or 6 years old, he used to love to snack on cat food.
Okay. Crawford. It's Ruggiano.
Because it was so crunchy.
Oh, boy.
And he said it wasn't a one-time thing either, because I did it for about a year. That's why he had such a quick step out there at second base.
Didn't he win 9 Gold Gloves?
Yeah. He kept trying to flip him when he turned the double play, and he always landed on his feet.
A 1-strike pitch to Rizzo. Lined the other way for a base hit.
With that stroke right there, that's what he's been doing so well against left-handed pitching. And I think he'll continue to try to do it against right-handed pitching because of the shift. He tries to pull the ball. If he hits it on the ground, there's typically 3 guys on the right side of the infield. This is a backdoor cutter or slider from Hudson. Real nice swing of the bat by Rizzo. That approach in the end may cost him some home runs, but certainly will help that on base percentage and batting average.
Castro fouls for a strike. Off the end of the bat. Houston shut out the Royals 3-0. 4-game win streak for the Astros. George Springer did not hit a home run tonight. Home run streak ending at 4 games. But he did fly to the warning track twice.
What a tear that kid's been on.
Royals have lost 6 of 8. Swing and a miss. He chased one out of the zone on 0-2 and strikes out. 2 gone here in the 6th.
Starlin's kind of like Sandoval. He's got those contact skills where, you know, if you're going to try to get him to swing and miss, you got to go wider than wide. And he's shown a willingness to do that, to offer at that pitch from time to time. Brewers came from behind to beat the Orioles in 10, 7-6, the final.
Did you see how they did it?
I did not.
Giovanni Gallardo hit a home run in the 10th.
Pinch hit?
Yes.
Wow.
Ground ball. Adrianza picks it up and throws out Valbuena. All Giants tonight, 4-0 in the 6th. Jersey off our back night at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action. The Cubs will battle the Mets at 6:05. Autographed game-worn jerseys will be awarded to lucky fans in random seats at the conclusion of the game. Compliments of Majestic, the official on-field uniform of MLB. It was a Giovanni Gallardo game-ending RBI double, not a home run. My mistake. As Milwaukee beat the Orioles 7-6 in 10 innings. Colvin swings at the first pitch from Arrieta here in the bottom of the 6th. Ruggiano makes the catch, 1 away.
And I believe, if I'm understanding Twitter correctly, that Buck Showalter intentionally walked Mark Reynolds with nobody on to get to Gallardo, and he delivered that game-winning double.
Really?
Yeah, that's another.
Oh. Yes, it says Reynolds intentionally walked after back-to-back groundouts.
So he put the winning run on base because the pitcher spot was up next. Must have used all their bench guys. Interesting.
He once walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded.
Got away with it.
Yeah, I think Brent Maine then lined out to end the game.
Yeah.
The A's have come back and now lead the Tigers 5-4 as they play the top of the 6th. Miguel Cabrera's hit his 8th. John Jaso with his 5th. The Tigers continue to struggle keeping the other team off the board. Max Scherzer pitching tonight, but has given up all 5.
It's interesting. Arrieta down 4 here tonight. And the numbers were so good last time. I mean, it really hasn't been that different in terms of his stuff and his command. I don't think he has the changeup tonight that he had last time. course, this is a better club, too, than the Padres.
Tommy Medica just hit a home run for the Padres, who lead late at Arizona 4-3. Got it. Called strike 3. Crawford knew it.
Number 6 for Arrieta. Man, that's just a jelly leg, lock 'em up curveball.
On a bounce, backhanded by Castro. Throw to first, and Adrian's is out. Marietta makes quick work of the Giants in the 6th. We go to the 7th. It's 4-zip San Francisco.
Zip. The newborn fan club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, the Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today.
Big swing and a miss by Wellington Castillo. His 7th inning starts. 4-0 Giants. If this were a matchup in the Giants franchise's first ever season, it would have been the White Stockings and the Gothams, and this game would be in New York. 1883 they started up in the National League. Playing at the southeast diamond of the Polo Grounds. Managed by John Clapp. Base hit. Wellington Castillo to start the inning on an 0-2. That'll bring up Sherholtz.
Second time the Cubs have had a leadoff man reach tonight. Muggiano singled to get the 4th started, but the Cubs couldn't make anything out of that. Well, it wasn't too long after that Christy Mathewson came along. early 1900s, right? Mathewson out of Princeton, I believe.
In case you're wondering, the White Stockings, who would become the Cubs, 1883, finished second in the National League, managed by Cap Anson, went 59-39 in that 83 season. They had guys with first names of Silver, Cap, King. Popped him up. Adrianza makes a catch out in shallow center. When the Giants won the World Series in 2010, it was their first championship in San Francisco, the first for this franchise since 1954. They would win it again 2 years later.
And they probably feel like this is their year.
Yeah, the even numbered years here lately have gone pretty well. Now they have the best mark in baseball. And a strike to Mike Olt.
They finished 10 games below 500 last year, had a bunch of injuries, but Bruce Bochy said this spring he thought they had the club that could win again. Treating last season as an aberration. Of course, the addition of Hudson has helped. Michael Morse also on board. A pretty good core here. Posey and Pence, Pagan and Sandoval.
Brandon Belt had gotten off to a good start before going to the DL. 1-2. Chris Coghlan will hit for Arrieta.
Best swing of the night for the Cubs. Olt last time out, that double off the wall in deep left center. More center than left, almost knocked the ball out of the ballpark.
Swing and a miss for the second out.
Just a late darting slider to finish off Olt. I thought Coghlan might get a start tonight. His numbers against Hudson are really good. Eight out of 17 to be exact. That's a .471 batting average.
So Arrieta 6 innings and 4 runs. Ground ball to Adrianza, the second baseman, and it is time for the 7th inning stretch from San Francisco. Cool night here, and the Cubs bats unfortunately cool as well. services on night and weekend games. The remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. We'll wrap up the California part of the trip tomorrow afternoon. Off day Thursday. And then a weekend in Milwaukee. Blake Parker is back. And look what he did at Iowa. No walks and almost 12 innings with 15 strikeouts.
He's the all-time save leader down there at AAA Iowa. Second tour of duty with the big club this year. At 9-1-2 here to bat for the Giants in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be a pinch hitter for Hudson.
Gregor Blanco against Parker to start the inning.
7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts for Hudson tonight in pursuit of his 5th win.
Jeremy Affeldt is up. Hudson's ERA down to 1.92 after the 7 shutout frames.
Good life on that heater.
1-1 on the pinch hitter Blanco.
It's interesting because, last few years, offense has been on the decline in baseball. Batting averages are down, strikeouts are up. And now with all this shifting, we could expect, batting averages perhaps to be suppressed even a little bit more. So my theory is that there's going to be value now in finding line drive hitters that use the whole field. You think back to that Cardinal club last year with guys like Alan Craig and Matt Carpenter, Molina.
Yep. Two and two.
I mean, you're always going to want guys in your lineup that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. But, I wonder if there is going to be an emphasis in finding guys who are tough to overload the defense against.
Yeah, the non-shift almost becomes a shift these days. This is as straight up as you'll probably see the Cubs play any hitter. You see Bonifacio a few steps over toward left center.
Yeah, Sherrill's well off the line and right. That allows Bonifacio to cheat a little bit towards the left center gap.
Left field, Luciano. Plenty of room. We have some vociferous hecklers near our crowd microphones tonight. Hudson chats with Ryan Vogelsong in the Giants dugout. I mean, Hudson's here to pitch, but he brings extra value too, I would think, in terms of being maybe a assistant pitching coach.
Yeah, for a guy who has so much success without being a stuff guy, who really has mastered the craft of pitching. Even for a guy like Lincecum, who's won a couple of Cy Young awards, Lincecum's stuff not what it used to be. You could use Hudson as a model, as a guy who pitches really well, doesn't have a plus fastball.
2 balls, no strikes on Pagan. Parker ready. He pops. And it'll be Ruggiano again. Oh, 1 on Pence. Dodgers lead the Reds 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 7th in LA. Andre Ethier has hit number 3. Broken bat flare, right field, base hit. 3rd time Pence has been on tonight. He said, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, his first hit was that little ground ball through the right side with Pagan on the move. This one off the end of the bat, cracks his bat. And a fair number of soft hits by the Giants here tonight. A threat to run, 6 out of 7 for Pence this year in the stolen base department.
Posey with 2 sacrifice flies tonight. He's made 3 outs, but he's knocked in 2. You could score it, I guess, with the Giants batting helmet, SF. Ground ball, cut off by Alt. And that'll end the inning. 4-0 Giants. USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. Add Android BlackBerry 10 or Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text it back to 31826 or go to Cubs.com for details. Veteran left-hander Jeremy Affeldt.
He's been around a good long while now. Very solid setup man. Oh, remember the 165. All the numbers good. Low batting average against. Strikeout to walk ratio outstanding. Fastball curve and a split. Been with the Giants since 2009. Before that, he was a Red, a Rocky, a Royal.
Not much happening for the Cubs offensively. 6 hits. And no runs to this point. Bonifacio will lead off for the second time tonight. He's 0 for 3. Started the ball game with a line out to center. Fastball missed away. 2-0. Houston Street now on, trying to get the save as the Padres continue to lead the Diamondbacks 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Gordon Beckham with a home run. The White Sox leading Cleveland 2-0 in the 5th. They have resumed after a lengthy rain delay. Jose Veras up in the Cubs bullpen. Another ground ball. Crawford to Morse.
Guy who pitched for both these clubs would enjoy this one. Big Daddy Rick Russell, a ground ball machine.
Outside on a curveball to Ruggiano. Well, they're tied over across the bay 5-5. If they go to extras and we finish, should we head over?
Jump on the BART and head over? Yeah, sure.
Crawford to his left. Throws out Ruggiano.
It's getaway day tomorrow. We better not
That's
do
true.
that. Day game.
Probably have told you this story before. I know I've told it on the air. My dad and I once did a Detroit-Cleveland one-day doubleheader. Watched the Tigers and Twins at Tiger Stadium. Left in about the 7th inning. Drove to Cleveland. Saw the Brewers and the Indians.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of Chicago baseball fans have, on the rare occasion the Cubs and White Sox are in town at the same time, caught a matinee at Wrigley and headed to the south side.
I did it when I was playing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Played the Cubs. My dad was in town. Went over to Comiskey because my old minor league teammate Dan Pasquale was playing right field for the Sox, and I stood out there in right field yelling, "Danny, Danny," and he wouldn't turn around. Thought it was just some fan heckling him.
0-2 to Rizzo. He has killed lefties this year. Not this time, however. Halfelt goes 1-2-3. And we head to the last of the 8. Giants shutting out the Cubs 4-0. live up to our promises. We have our AT&T fan photo. Hashtag Northside fan photo. In the future, if you'd like to send us your fan photo, brought to you by AT&T, and we may show it in an upcoming broadcast.
Jose Veras works for the 11th time, 0-1 with a 10.45. He's made 4 appearances since coming off the disabled list. Scoreless baseball in 3 of those 4. One of his best outings of the year last time. On Friday against the Padres, they worked 2 scoreless, struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. That was the game that the Cubs got beat 11-1, so it's very much a low leverage situation, but trying to rebuild his confidence, and that was a good step in the right direction.
Cubs in the area, and Ruggiano has it. He's had a busy night. First game back off the DL. Interesting to see if Panda's here next year. Sandoval hits free agency after this season.
The Giants with the 6th highest payroll in baseball right now, maybe getting to the point where they feel like they have to say no to somebody. Life is good though in this organization right now. Sell out every night.
One and one to Michael Morse. His theme song back in Washington was "Take on Me" by Aha, and that has come along with him here to San Francisco. Oslo, Norway. Aha.
AHA.
Yes.
Does it have is there a translation? Or is it like aha?
Aha. I think it's more of that. Yeah. Bolton plays a short hop.
Slick.
You know what he probably said? Aha.
Aha.
There it is. 2 outs.
Couple good defensive plays by Olt down there tonight. And there's a short hop. After some wobbly defense early in the season, Olt settling in.
Fastball missing to Tyler Colvin. He's 0 for 3. Drives this ball to right. Sherholt's back on it, and he'll play the carom. Throw to second, a little off the mark. A lot of different surfaces and angles to play out there, and Nate knows it well. He just didn't have time to get Colvin at second.
Well, if you recall some of Colvin's earlier at-bats, when they got ahead of him, they tried to climb the ladder up with the fastball, and you just saw the reason why. The ball down, he was able to lean on pretty good.
Crawford swings and misses.
Nine hits for the Giants tonight. 7 singles, a couple of doubles. A number of those singles of the soft variety. A little flare off the end of the bat, little chopper in the infield, things of that nature.
Fly ball out in the right center. Sherholtz will give way as Bonifacio will make the catch. So we'll go to the ninth. Castro, Valbuena, Castillo up, but the Cubs are down 4. Giants will wrap up this series. We'll have coverage for Game 3 starting at 2 o'clock Central Time with Cubs pregame live. First pitch around 2:45. Jackson and Lincecum right here on CSN. Joaquin Arias takes over at third for Sandoval. Gene Machi, big burly right-hander.
Gene Machi's been the magic man for the Giants out of that bullpen this year. 5 wins already, 5-0. That's a pretty good wins per innings pitch ratio right there. 24 1/3, and he's got 5 W's. It's not like he's just been a vulture. He's pitched very well. An 0.37 ERA, opponent batting average of 188. His out pitch is a nasty forkball.
6 feet 255.
Built like a nose guard.
Signed originally by the Phillies by the late Jim Fregosi. And his pitch is a strike. Machi debuted in 2012 here with the Giants. Swing and a miss. Well, we've seen Starlin really go out of the zone a couple of times with 2 strikes last 2 at bats.
A breaking ball from Hudson last time, and the splitter tumbling down and away. A split finger pitch with some cutting action. And Machi, long time in the minor leagues before getting that first crack at the big leagues with the Giants in 2012.
Of course, JD, they call that the split cutter.
The split cutter. Spork ball. Originally signed with the Phillies in 2000. Spent the better part of 4 years in rookie ball. And a slow climb up through the ranks.
Machi actually signed by Jim Fregosi Jr.
Minor league time with the Rays, the Jays, the Pirates. A year in Mexico. A couple years in the Giants organization at AAA Fresno. Can't accuse him of not paying his dues.
Here's 1-2 is low. Thanks to Bruce Levine from the score for pointing out Jim Jr. signed Machi. Bruce watching us tonight. No save on the line with a 4-run lead here in the ninth. Hudson and Arrieta, the pitchers of record, and the 2-2s hit on the ground to third. Arias is up with it. Is it just me, JD, or it feels like tonight in particular, all the Cubs outs in play have been hit right at Giant defenders. There haven't been a lot of terribly tough plays to make.
Yeah, you're right. There haven't been a lot of balls squared up. When it was 2-0 in the first with Hudson on the mound, you thought, well, this is not going to be easy, but certainly doable. But when it became 4-0 in the fifth, chances of winning this one diminished greatly.
Castillo, strike one.
That would be the case against any pitcher, but against Hudson, and this bullpen's been really good this year too.
The third, it is just foul. Foul ball. All the players involved did the right thing. If you're Arias, throw first and worry about fair or foul later. If you're Castillo, run hard until they tell you it's foul.
If that passes over the corner of the bag, it's a fair ball. Just barely foul.
Another sellout here tonight. Fans on their feet, 41,060. And the pitch. 1-2.
Doesn't look like a knuckleball.
And the Giants have set up a rubber match tomorrow. They avenge an 8-4 loss yesterday with a 4-0 shutout tonight. Giants unbeaten when Tim Hudson has pitched here in this ballpark this season.
Yeah, Cubs just could not get anything going against Hudson tonight. You knew it was going to be a tough night the way he's been pitching. He was on his game. Cubs only had 2 men reach scoring position all night long.
Our GMC player of the game is the starter and the winner for the Giants, Tim Hudson.
The veteran now 5-2 with an ERA below 2. Had all of his pitches working. Sinker, slider, cutter. But with Hudson, it's not so much about overpowering, but great command that makes him so tough.
So Hudson improves to 5-2. Arrieta with the loss now 1-1. For JD and our entire crew, John Walsh, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson and company. Len Casper saying so long from San Francisco. The final tonight, Giants 4, Cubs nothing. We're back on the air tomorrow. Again, 2 o'clock for a pregame coverage for the series finale. Stay tuned. GMC Sportsnet Central is next.